So it looks like Gavin Newsom is going to remain our governor. I know it's not a surprise to a lot of people, but I'm not so sure. Hello and welcome to Sweet Home California. My name is Jennifer. I work the poll in one of my small town in Kern County precincts. There were only 3 of us at my particular precinct. We had somewhere around, there's 153 mail-ins that were dropped off. There were some 21 that were just straight vote in person, and then there were another 54 provisional. So add that up. I know, not a very large precinct at all, and our town in total has I think about 20,000 residents total. Around 8,000 I think are registered voters. So yeah, not a huge turnout. A lot of people voted by mail. But I know they're calling it right now for Newsom some 66% to 33%. Kern County is one of the ones that are showing that is trending towards Larry Elder overwhelmingly 54%, I think, to vote yes. And Larry Elder across the board is the one to replace Newsom if Newsom gets over 50% on the yes vote. But according to the state website, only 37.9% of registered voters had returned their ballots and been counted as of today at 10:06. 37.9%. And here, let me show this to you because I think this is important. Let me find me here. Okay. All right. So this is as of 10:06. I don't know if it will refresh if I do this now at 10:20. Okay, so now we're at 38.3%. All right, interesting here. Because this is 100% mail-in. Okay, we've never done that before except for November of 2020. Now, in the historical data, I've got a big question. Why are they not showing historical data for 2020? Because that's really what we need to compare it to. We're looking here 2018, we had a gubernatorial, we had 64% overall, which means if we use that number, a little less than 30% remaining. But then if we compare it to presidential 2016, that was, obviously presidents are big news, so you get a higher percentage. And that was a turnout of 75%, in which case we'd have little less than 40% left to go. However, if the voter turnout in 2020, let's say maybe it was 90%, 95, was it 100? Was it 105? Is that why they're not showing the historical data of the number of the percentage of turnout compared to registered voters? It's a good question. This is from the California website. So this is their data. Kern County, this is probably accurate. 18% is what they're calling right now. Kern County, which is where I'm at, is 100% paper ballot. There was absolutely nothing connected to the internet. There was nothing electronic or digital except for accessible if you were blind and you needed help with an electronic voting. We did have something for that. But in the entire time my precinct has had that thing, the total count is 16. And we didn't use it at all today. So, and even so, that prints out a ballot that you can then double check to make sure it's everything you wanted it to be. And then that paper ballot is what is included in the count. Nothing is electronic. So it makes sense that only 18.6 has been counted so far because we just haven't had time to turn it in. The polls closed at 8. It took time to count everything up. We had our ballots picked up by the county at about 9:30. So Kern County is huge. It's going to take an hour and 15, hour and 30 minutes to go from our town to Bakersfield, which is where the seat is. And I asked the gentleman that picked it up, I'm like, all right, what's going to happen? Are they going to start counting these at, 11 o'clock, 11:30 at night, or are they going to wait until the morning? He didn't know. He was just hired on for extra help. So I don't know how accurate this landslide is. It may turn out that Newsom wins. It could be completely on the up and up. But it's still possible that Larry could get it, in my opinion, because I think that most of Larry's supporters are probably voting today. Most of them, I think, are probably voting in person. And I don't know what other counties are doing, but Kern was all paper, so they had a low turnout, or low vote so far, 18.6%. So I don't know what these other ones are. Tulare is at 31. That's another conservative county. Kings County, I think, is also conservative. Fresno tends to be more conservative. They're only at 33% right now. So now here are some that have quite a bit of turnout already. So I'm thinking that they have a lot of electronic voting. Here's one that's more rural, 14% turnout so far. Now, of course, more rural means that that county probably has a lot less people. Kern County overall only has, I think, about 950,000 people in it. Los Angeles County, I'm thinking it's around 10 million in Los Angeles County. So, I mean, you can't just compare county to county, obviously, because it's the total number. It's not like we have the Electoral College on the state level here. So, but I can tell you a little bit about my experience. I'll go ahead and talk about it now because it's fresh on my mind. I thought the way Kern County handled it was great. We had 3 poll watchers, which we were supposed to have 4. One did not show. And I was told when I signed up, like, this is really important to sign up, to show up, because if you don't have the people there, you can't have the oversight that you're supposed to have. That there's a number of things that you have to make sure that there's always 2 people available. And with 3, I mean, it was just barely enough, because we were there from 6 in the morning until it closed at 8, and then we had reconciliation to do afterwards. So breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and a steady stream of people. It would have been really, really hard to do with only 2 people, because you wouldn't have had time to go to the bath. You couldn't go to the bath. 2 people have to be there to watch things all the time. So otherwise, you don't have you're not sure about the voter integrity. What happens when somebody goes to the bathroom and the other person could be doing something? When you have 3 or more, then that's when you can have a bit more confidence. So if we don't have integrity in our elections, I think a large part of it is because we just don't have the volunteers. They were still asking, even as of today, they had on the Kern Vote website that they still needed poll workers. So, people need to step up. This is ridiculous that, we have this level of distrust in our voting system that is in the, right now. And yet we still don't have people that are stepping up to watch. I told people, you don't even have to have any training or anything just to be a poll watcher. I was a poll worker, so I had to do 3 hours of training, and I had to be there from 6 in the morning till we reconciled at night, and I got home about 10 o'clock. That's a very long day. Now, even though it's considered volunteer, they do have a stipend, so in about 4 to 6 weeks, I'll get $110. So at least it's something. It's, round about minimum wage or so. But hey, it's something. But if you want to just be a poll watcher, you don't need any training. Of course, you don't get paid at all, but just take a couple hours. Why doesn't the different parties organize poll watching? Go in there and make sure everything is following procedure, that, there's always 2 people watching, that sort of thing. So, people in the big cities especially need to be watchful, because that's where you have a lot of stuff going on, and that's where it is, heavily Democrat. And so if you are concerned about Democrats not having integrity, I don't know if it's true or not, but if you're concerned about it, why don't you step up and volunteer to watch it. So, but anyhow, I know I was listening a little bit to Larry Elder, and he said, one of the first things he said, talking to his supporters there, was, we may have lost the battle, but we haven't lost the war. I'm a little concerned that it sounded like he was conceding a little bit about the battle. He didn't say we did lose the battle. But, I think he should be a bit more positive. Sorry, I had that map on there for so long. But anyhow, that I'll put that link to the map so you guys can keep track of it. The other thing about this is that, so far we're at 38.3% of registered voters having been recorded as voting. Today was the day that you had to have your ballot postmarked by. So people could have dropped them in the mail, and they have until 7 days later. So I think that's Monday. I might have said Tuesday previously, but it's 7 days from today. So that would be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So I guess, next Tuesday, they have to get those ballots be received. And if it's lost in the mail, then it's it's not going to count. But, so, I think it's premature, because I think that the people who were on the side of getting rid of Newsom, they might have been hoping to vote today, and maybe something came up and they had to drop it in the mail instead. So I still think that even things that might have been mailed late are probably going to be more trending towards getting rid of Newsom. So anyhow, I just think that we just need to keep on praying, and if we don't get our way, well, then that was, maybe we just still need to work on what we're doing, watching the votes. I know that God works things to the good of all those that trust and believe in Him. Sometimes bad things happen, but God makes them into good things. So who knows what the future holds? Just keep praying, okay? And don't let this get you down. Don't let it get you angry, because God doesn't want us to worry. The birds don't have clothes, and they don't sow food, and yet God takes care of them, right? So we'll be okay. Just we need to rely on God, and if it didn't work out this time for us, then we just need to get more involved. But I haven't given up hope yet, okay? I haven't. It's 7 days until all the votes that are going to be in are going to be counted, and then they still have, they gave themselves yet another couple weeks after that to actually certify the election. So if there are any shenanigans, make sure you're reporting it, because all these things are supposed to be followed up. They have until October 22nd to certify. So if there's any problems that you experienced, make sure you're reporting it. The places to report it to are going to be your county registrar, but then you can also follow up and have external investigations by reporting it on Larry Elder's website. And I understand that Project Veritas is also encouraging people to report to them, and that they will investigate. Okay? So, report. Anything you saw that was out of the ordinary, report. I can say that from my precinct, it's the first time I've done it, so I'm not sure if there are things out of the ordinary, but it seemed to me that we were being very careful in accounting for everything. Okay? So that's just from my perspective in my small little precinct. But I think Kern County's doing it right. But then, we're Kevin McCarthy's district, so we're already voting Republican. So anyhow, keep the faith, keep praying, and I will talk to you later. I'm going to sleep. It's been a long day. Bye. God bless.